Hey everybody, and welcome to After Hours here at Linda's Electric Quilters.
Hey, hey!
We are super excited to be joining you live this evening as we take a look at our template starter kit.
Yes, this is super excited.
Yeah, super excited. We've had a lot of requests for this now that we're back on the long arm, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And a lot of people's 2022 resolutions, New Year's resolutions, if you follow us on our Good Morning LEQ show, you'll see some of those chats.
Yeah.
That was to get over the fear of rulers and templates.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what we want to do tonight. We want to give you a little bit of that confidence, that little extra boost to get you over that so you can take advantage of the amazing rulers and templates that we carry and a lot of other people carry as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
So get your mind ready for a workout. I had to do that because we have sweats on.
I'm dead. That was not necessary. Anyway.
It's so cold outside.
It is cold here.
That we're like, we have
She's got long sleeves.
long sleeve under, because the shirt's actually a short sleeve shirt. We're waiting on a few people to get on. It's actually a short sleeve shirt. And then we have our little tie-dye.
Oh, she did that. Okay. All right. Party on. I guess I'll do it too. Yeah, there it is. We'll both have tie-dyes. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel. It's going to be right down at that bottom right-hand corner. After you click on that subscribe button, make sure you click on the little bell that shows up so you can get notified whenever we post new videos, which will be coming soon, some recorded ones, and whenever we go live here on After Hours and Good Morning LEQ.
That's right. I had to give something to laugh about.
Yeah, it was something.
If you,
Drink
everybody's
my
cold.
hot chocolate while you're doing that.
Yeah, if it's cold in Texas, everyone's cold right now, so they understand the sweats.
Yes.
Yep. Oh yeah. And our little fancy dancy mugs.
Yes,
after our squad. So don't forget to check out our merch on our website. I'm wearing one right now. It's a design choice, kind of a rainbow color. They are short sleeves underneath. After our squad, join our squad, and then we also have our logo on the side. So fun stuff. Check it out. Okay.
Awesome stuff. Okay, well, let's hop over and take a look at the templates that come in the kit.
Okay.
So, over here, the first one that's going to come in the starter kit is the applique helper. It has a straight edge on one side and then this groovy edge on the other. And then your hopping foot for your long arm machine will actually go in this little slot here. It may not fit all machines because it was manufactured for a specific one, but you can still see some good uses for it, and I'll show you some tonight. The next one that comes in the kit is going to be this heart and oval. It's a 4-inch heart, and then it's an oval around that. I have little stickers that I've put on this one, some grippers, and you'll see how it helps us keep it nice and stable, but you can add these to them. This is an additional thing.
Cool.
Next one that you're going to have is a 3x6 star, so a 3-inch star, a 6-inch circle. And these have these little slots for you to put your hopping foot into as well, so you can get in and make these cute little stars or that heart.
Yes, yes, yes.
My favorite is going to be the 4x8 ruler with all these extra markings. It's great for line work. You're going to see some awesome uses for that tonight. And then last but not least, this is the 6x6 square. Now it has this brown paper on it. I wanted to show y'all how this works.
Yeah, so they all come with brown paper on them to protect them.
Right.
And so he's just going to show you how, if you get one with brown paper, you got to take the paper off. Might not work so well with the paper.
So yeah,
on.
the brown paper is for protection during shipping. But when you flip it over, you can start with like a pin. I've already started a little bit, but you can start with a little pin mark. And you can get right underneath this paper, and then it's just going to peel right off. So you'll do that once you get it home with you. We even put a sticker on it that says, please peel before use. And then you'll just start working that paper around, getting it off. So
and this one right here is, like he says, a placement template. It's not meant to use on the long arm to quilt with.
Right. This is not one for quilting itself. It's good for placing and finding centers.
So fun. I can't wait to see you working on them over there. We got people from all over. -11 in Minnesota, Jennifer says. Not happening.
I'll pass.
Not happening.
All right, let's head over to the long arm and take a look at how we can use these.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab my templates.
Yep.
And head on over. And we're going to start off with this star block here. And I want to first start by doing some placement on this. This is a very thin template. Now this 6x6, remember we said this is not for use for actual quilting. This is a super thin one. Most of our templates, if not all, are going to be a 1/4 inch thick, so they ride against a ruler foot. Make sure you have a ruler foot on your machine when you're using them.
Yeah, so whatever brand you're using, ruler foot, and like he said, you want to make sure you're using the right size template when you're looking for them.
Yeah.
That's very important.
And then make sure you have a ruler base plate so you have a nice flat space under here. So what I'm going to do, since this is so thin, it actually slides right underneath your foot. And you can use the line markings on this square to get a good center placement for what's going on your quilt. So if I move my machine over that center mark, right here, no quilting, but move it over that center mark, leave my machine still, and then pull this out from underneath, I know that's the exact center of what I'm working with.
Yep, exactly.
So I can grab a chalk pencil and just mark that right where the laser light is. Just mark that nice and good. I have a laser light on this machine, some don't, that's okay. I'm going to turn that off so it's not in our way. But we can find that exact center like so.
Okay.
So from here, I'm going to do a little bit of reverse applique. I'm going to take a nice little piece of red fabric and line this up. I'm actually going to let me cut this down a little bit. You told me to do this earlier. But no, I don't listen. That's how it works.
That's okay. While you're cutting that down, we just got 13 in Kansas, another -10 in Minnesota. Oof. It is super cold.
It is cold.
For sure.
All right. So I'm going to lay this over my section here. And what I can do is take my little heart template, my 4-inch heart, and I can try to center this up as best as I can underneath this. I've got fabric covering the top here, so it gets a little iffy, but you're going to center that up as best as you can. I know I've got it centered on the bottom here and then up here on the top, so I'm good there. So I can come in with my machine. Let's leave that there. And let's actually pick it up and put it in. Turn that sideways and put it in. It'd be a little easier that way. Recenter things up, just like so. Looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and take a single stitch to pull up my bobbin thread.
And while you're doing that, we had a good question. Why wouldn't you use the Basic 8 stencil to do your centering besides the template? And you definitely can use that. We were just wanting to show you something else that you could use that comes in the kit.
But yeah, you could definitely, most definitely, use that Basic 8 for sure.
Yep.
Even with your pounce powder and get a nice center there.
Exactly.
All right. So I'm going to do a couple single stitches to lock this down. Just like so. And then what I'm going to do is I can hold this template, and I've got those little grip dots on it, which makes it even nicer. But I can hold this template, and I can start up my machine. And I'm just going to travel around this. If you get into an uncomfortable spot, pause it, needle down. Move some threads out of the way too. There we go. And then readjust your hand. And you're basically holding a nice grip on this template and using the edge of that foot alongside of it. And that's that part, and then I can travel around. I'm getting to a part where it's going to be a little uncomfortable, so then I adjust my hand and work around. And this gets to be a little easier when there's not a camera stand. Work to that point, and then I can line it back up like so.
Yeah, I think they get the idea.
Yeah, so I can take that, and then once I'm done there, I can tie off and pull up my bobbin threads and cut. So let me tie this off real quick. Pull up my bobbin thread and cut. And then just because I want to add a little bit extra interest to this block, I can come in with my applique scissors and just trim right up next to that. Of course, you could do a satin stitch on this, or if this is an applique that's already on the quilt, you have that advantage as well. This is just, I want to show you a cool use for that. You can also use that heart template anywhere in your quilting just to actually quilt a physical heart somewhere.
And I like how it has the oval with it as well. So that way you can have 2 templates in one. That's what's nice about the starter kit, is that a lot of them are 2 templates in one.
Yes.
You have the oval here, the star, and the circle. The applique helper has a clamshell kind of on it, so it gives you multiple uses.
Ooh, this is a jagged piece here.
Well, you got to cameras down.
The
idea is that he's showing you how easy it is to do some reverse applique by using the templates too.
Or just using the template.
Or just using the template in general.
Okay.
That's
that
good
works.
enough. Yep.
That gives them something. That's cute. Looks good on camera. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is let's look at doing a little bit of stitch in the ditch around the inner portions of this block, around this gray star here. So I'm going to brush this off, and I can start wherever I would like to. Let's say I want to start up here, And I'm going to go ahead and pull up my thread.
Okay, while he's pulling up his thread, we're actually using a panel from an old class, so it's not available for sale right now. It's just one that we're using to show you ideas.
Yeah, this is an old sampler class
An
panel.
old sampler, yep. And Pamela B is says 74 in Arizona.
Well, there you go.
I know, dreaming right now.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm going to take my 4x8 stencil, goodness gracious, template. And what I'm going to do is set this up alongside here. And let me start off with a few tie-off stitches to lock my thread in. And what I'm going to do is just ever so slightly, you're really pushing against that template because your hand's got good pressure. And you can just move this around, remember, needle down. And you're going to get some nice stitch in the ditch on this as you work around. And I don't have any grip dots on this template. That was a question that popped up because I like to move this ruler really easily and free. And having those grip dots, sometimes that stops me from doing what I want to do, especially if it's a little bit of a wavy sashing or a wavy block. Not that we've ever gotten those before, but if you ever get that, that can happen. So you're just working around this, just like so. There we go. And once you get really moving,
easier to hold. The 4x8's easy to hold.
I just like the size of the 4x8. It's a good size. Good place to put a full flat hand on, you know?
Well, it has really good markings too.
Yeah, and you'll see some good use for those markings on one of the blocks that we're looking at tonight. So once you get the hang of what you're doing, you can easily bounce around this block pretty quick. But the biggest piece of advice is apply a little bit of extra pressure to both the template and pull the machine towards you a little bit, and that's going to get you those nice straight lines that you're looking for, like so. I'm almost done working around this bad boy. Like that.
Yeah, stitch in a ditch does add extra time, obviously, on what you're doing, but it's so worth it.
It changes the look completely of what you're doing, just like that.
Perfect use for that. Alrighty, what else?
So good. So tie off that real quick. And I want to use that same 4x8, and I am going to do some radiating lines around the heart applique that we have here. So a good use for doing some radiating lines there. So I'm going to pull up my thread real quick. So many things out of just a few templates so far.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to start off doing is kind of breaking this into 4 parts. So I can come in with my chalk pencil and kind of give myself a line here, a line here, here, and here. And from those lines, you're going to be building your radiating lines out around your applique piece. So what I can do is I'll start, let's start right here, 1/4 inch down. So I'll come up actually from that. I'll actually start right here inside of her. Uh-oh, lost my bottom thread. There it goes. A couple of single stitches to tie off. Okay. And then I can take my 4x8 ruler, and I'm going to travel up that line just a little bit to give myself good space. And I want to line up my ruler with the stitch in the ditch that I have. And with your 1/4 inch ruler foot, that's going to then give you 1/4 inch spacing to work from. And you're going to see why these lines on this ruler really make that worth it. So we're just going to travel up here just a hair, line up that ruler all the way down that ditch that we just made, and then go in a diagonal line. You're going to come down a little bit. And what you can do is use your markings that you have and shift your ruler in, and you want that first line marking to line up with the ditch now. Get your foot up next to it and then work your way back. You're going to travel up the heart a little bit, move over those lines, just like so. Give or take like that, there we go. And then work your way up. Use a little bit of the ditch work. Shift your lines. And you wouldn't have to stop your machine every time you do this, it's just a little bit of shifting. You're gonna work that way. Up a little bit. Shift your ruler to get those lines to meet up. On to the next one. And you'd be bouncing these left and right, over and over and over again. Travel up a little bit, shift. Let's go up here. There we go. And back again. And a good rule of thumb is if you get good distance almost for your hopping foot to that line, then you can automatically just shift your ruler right over and kind of start going from there. Because your hopping foot should be basically rolling on that last line that you just did anyway. So right there would tell me now it's time to shift, get that ruler back in alignment, and travel back. Now this part, now we're getting to this chalk line that we just made. We're going to travel up the chalk line, shift over, and work back. Jump up, shift our ruler over, jump back, up our chalk line, shift our ruler, jump back, and then we'll finally stop it right here. Just like so. And then you would flip that direction and go this way, and then this way and that way.
So really close, really quickly, we had a comment about how easy he's making it look, and it has a lot to do with this template. So Corey, show how so we have the lines right here, and he was actually following the lines. It was hard to see with his hand there in the video. But every line he was moving up 1/4 of an inch, and that's how he got those. So without the help of the template is what really helped him get the equal distance on the lines.
Exactly, yeah. You're just bouncing up, and then you would line up your next line onto that stitched line you've already made and start stitching. And then you bounce up to the next one and the next one. Trust me, y'all, if I can do this, you can too. Really, 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 you can.
Yeah, and whether you did a 1/2 inch or if you want to go and just do a 1 inch, that's what's nice is you can choose whatever design.
You can change it up as much as you want, and that's why all those inch marking or 1/4 inch markings are there. You can move it however you please all the way around there.
Let's do an inch on that side so they can see a little bit better on this angle how to do it.
Okay.
Just like 1 or 2, just for an inch.
For an inch marking?
Do an inch marking, yeah,
okay.
Just to give the difference.
Let's see. So you said you want to do an inch. We're gonna have to start over.
Or you can just do a 3/4, something, just anything.
Well, it's not that. I just you threw
It's
me.
not gonna
This
look
isn't
right.
what I had anticipated. So you've got to give me a second to mark it properly. You're gonna want me to start right about there then. Okay. So get that in alignment. Drop down. Okay. So then, let me take my ruler, you're going to have to go kind of backwards with it then at that point. But you would move this down to your inch mark at that point. So I travel down this a little bit, and I would find where my 1 inch mark is finally lining on that line, which hasn't hit yet. That's right about there. That's where it's going to hit. And then travel down.
Yeah, that's good.
And you would just work around that as you went all the way around.
Yeah. So that way it just gives you an idea how you can do from a 1/4 inch to an inch, whatever you want, and that's what he was using on that design. Perfect.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, what's next?
So I want to use the arc, or the arch that I have right here on my circle star template. And I have a little dot that I've put up here at the top of it to keep it steady while it works. So I'm going to work starting over here, so I'm just going to bounce with my thread, and I'm going to put my needle down in that point. And what I can do is take this arch, and since I've got my dot up there, I can press really hard with my finger. And I've got that nice and steady right in here, and you're going to use this arch to make a nice continuous curve all the way in this white outer area. So I'm going to set that down, start up my machine, and use that all the way to that point there, and then I can turn it to get to this section. So if you want nice, equidistant, continuous curves, you can use the arch on the outside circle that you've got already built into this star circle template, and it moves to each one of those points.
That's cool.
Just like so. So butt it up against it, good, equidistant. Uh-oh, Had a little bit of a curve there. That's all right. So I get for doing it backwards. It's okay. It's a design choice. So you can easily work around this just by moving all the way around.
Yeah, that looks good.
Just like so.
Okay, so like good use for the curves. We have circles, stars. What else?
And then last but not least on this one, I was just going to do some freehand ribbon candy on the background of this gray square here.
Alrighty.
So you would work those continuous arch curves all the way around, and I'll do that super fast just around this so we can finish off the block. See how much easier it is to have that template there? Makes it look much better. Look at that freehand. Holy smokes, look at that. Okay, back to the arch. I've got to finish it off right. The difference, though.
Oh, yeah.
You see the difference in that?
Yes.
I mean, I can see the difference. Hopefully y'all can't, but I can. Just like so. So you're just easily working that around. And the benefit to having your needle down is you can stop with the needle in the down position and then turn this and work around so you can get a good feel for it. Just like so. All right, so we're working all the way around this. Just wanted to finish off one part of it.
Alrighty.
There we go. That'll work for now. Okay. So what we're going to do out in this background area, we're just going to do some quick ribbon candy. So I'm just going to travel up the ditch to get to that. So we can use our 4x8 line ruler to get there. Like that. Once we get there, we can drop the ruler. And then at this point, and this is just some wavy ribbon candy out here in the background. And you could do that all the way around all 4 of your little squares.
Perfect. Love it.
Just like so.
All right, did you have some other tips for us?
There was one thing I did want to show on this applique real quick. I know I'm bouncing around everywhere. But we'll travel back down the ditch. So let's say, for instance, that this was an actual true turned applique, not that you put on after the fact, and you wanted to do some stitch in the ditch around that applique to kind of separate it and give it a little bit of puff on its own. I would come in with my applique helper. Okay. And this has your foot area. Now remember, it doesn't fit all machine feet. However, you can still use it to your advantage. It's not going to sit on there snug for all machines, but you can still use it to your advantage. And what I mean by that is you can see it moves. However, the big goal of this is you have these little grooves that you can grab with your finger, and it's going to give you good control down here as you work around your applique for stitch in the ditch.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to stay snug.
No. So now what I can do is easily work around my applique because I've got good control. Going a little far off here. That's okay. There we go. Just like so. So you could do nice ditch work around this. And then whenever you're done, you just pull up and move away.
Cool.
Just like so.
Awesome. I think you should write your name in there.
Write my name?
Yeah,
oh,
you can just like easy freehand.
Easy freehand, that's what she says. Okay, well, let's do that then. Let's come in, and I probably want to start up towards the top. Let's come in with a little bit of a loop.
And just like that, we have a block.
Well, bam, just like so. Okay.
Alrighty.
So let's look at creating a cool chain look on this block. This is just going to be something simple that I'm going to do on this block, so bear with us while we move camera over. Okay. That works.
Alrighty, you got your...
Yeah, that's good. That's good right there.
Alrighty.
That's nice.
Sorry for the shaking. There we go.
There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I kind of want to find the halfway point of this little white section here because I want to create a chain effect through the center of this, going all the way through the center, even that piece. It's okay to cross over your piecing lines.
Yeah, and I love how the glide thread really does make it pop. and you can see. And so we like using the glide thread a lot. That's what we're using right now.
So on your 4x8 template, you not only have those little 1/4 inch line markings, but you also have inch increments across the top when you want to measure things. So I can lay my template here and I can get a good measurement or a good center of what I'm working on. So I've got to kind of even these lines out because this isn't a perfect block. And I can get a good center mark of what I want to work with. And I would do that up here at the very top. Kind of move things around to get a good marking here. And I can use my chalk pencil and give myself a good center mark to work from. Okay. All right, and I'm going to use my applique helper again, and I'm going to be using the curvy edge, the one that we just used to hold on with our hands. And I'm going to lay that across that whole block and bring my machine down a little bit. And I want to get on that halfway point, which was right here, and get right there on that halfway point. And what I'm going to do is start just bouncing on this little halfway point section here and work my way down. So I'm going to take this, get it as center as I can, and I'm going to work my way down this. So remember, hold pressure on both the ruler template and on the machine foot towards it. You're going to start up. You're going to come around that. I'm not holding pressure on anything. That's going to have a little bit of design there. We'll come and put a feather on that. There we go. Sorry, it's a little awkward working on the other side of the machine. There we go. So holding pressure on this, working around, coming down and through this. I'm going to move my hands for placement. There we go. And just holding pressure against that. As we go, nice sharp points coming down, just like so. Now I can continue on, put a little little teardrop. I could have centered this up a little bit more, but it's really just to give you the idea. So now what I can do is I can flip this around, because currently we were looking at it like this. We're going to flip it this way, put it back in that exact same spot we were just at. And now what this is going to do is give myself a little chain pumpkin seed look here. Like so. It's a little chain effect that you could work. We could center this up a little bit. Now I did say we would add a little something to that little uh-oh area. So we can come in. You can ribbon candy through your chain. If you want to add a little feather maybe to look like it was meant to be there, you could do that as well. But this is showing you the opposite end of this. You could kind of move it back and forth and get so many different arc looks with this applique helper on that side.
Cool.
Just like so.
Anything else on this one?
This one was just to show the chain effect.
Cool.
Nothing much there on that one.
All right.
And then we're going to come back down to a block over here, and that's going to give us another look at how to use this line work. So a good refresher on that real quick.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you
Just be patient as we move.
roll up just a hair and a half. Let me pull up my needle real quick. Probably not my best idea to do that with the needle and the fabric. There we go. All right. Any questions so far? I know it's hard to look at everything at one time here. There we go. All right. So I've got this little chevron block here. Let me pull it up just a little bit more, actually.
Yep, nothing. Just, I mean, I've already answered them.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Alrighty. Let me come back up just a little more. There we go. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, let me pull up my threads real quick. Trim these away.
If you guys have any questions, definitely put it in the feed. We're going to show, like you said, we're going to show one little more block on this chevron, and then we'll be back over to talk to you again.
Okay. So I'm going to pull up my thread over here, just like so. Do a tie off to tie that down. And for this one, what I'm going to do is I want to first start off with the ditch work on this. And this is going to be line work all the way through. You could change it up if you want to. But I want to first start off with the ditch work. And I want to also give myself halfway marks between these where to stop whenever I'm working up and down. So I'm going to give myself a straight edge all the way through, probably just focusing on the red one. But just give yourself a little bit of a stopping point because you have to know when you need to make those good points to continue down. Just like that. You can go ahead and have the process started. So I'm going to take my ruler, line this bad boy up wherever I want to.
You know what I'm going to do? I am actually going to try to get to your other side.
Okay.
So we're going to see the stuff from the store right now.
Okay.
Alrighty, I'm over here. Just so they can see the actual stitching.
Okay.
All right, let's try this.
Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is line this ruler up like we said. Do our stitch in the ditch. Down that side. All the way through. Working good through this. There we go, and then back this way. All right, so, no, Diana said she needs to move.
No, we're good.
Okay,
I'm just going to
okay.
go back and forth just so we can see a little easier.
Okay. And same thing like we did with the radiating lines. You want to get your foot right on the side of the stitching that you just made. So then you can move your ruler around, excuse me, your roller. Oh, that was good. Right around. And then you go back. And then you're going to work back the other way. And you're going to do that until you get to that line that you just, that gray chalk line that you put, or whatever line, however you want to draw it. Rotate around. Line up your side of your ruler with the ditch work that you just did. Work down till you get to your chalk line and turn it. And you're going to work this way all the way around. So you get to your chalk line and then same way this way. Then you can go up however much you want to, or if you want to keep doing a 1/4 inch, we're going to go up and then come back and put some purls in this. So I'm going to go up, we'll do a couple in, so maybe 1 1/4 inch, maybe 3/4. That's good right there. We'll just line it up at the 3/4 mark. Let's do 1 inch. We have no idea what 3/4 inch purls are going to look like. And I'm going to put my side clamp on real quick so I can I'm getting some puckers there in the fabric. I don't know if y'all see it, but I can. It's bugging me. There we go. Okay, so coming up to where my inch line mark lines on that last line that I just stitched. So move it up to where my inch line mark hits that. Line up that line all the way on the stitching. And we're going to start stitching until we get to our gray chalk line. Turn our ruler. Same thing, make sure you line up that inch line mark on the line of stitching that you've done. Come down until you get to your chalk line. Rotate, inch line mark, line of stitching.
Oh, looks good.
Thanks. And work all the way there. So then on the way back, you could put pearls. You could do another rendition of ribbon candy if you want. We're going to see how these pearls work out. This is going to be a fun one. Pro tip with pearls is start with more of a flat edge. I don't know if you can see this. You tell me wherever you need me to be. That's good.
Ahead,
okay.
yeah.
Start with more of a flat edge, and I'll draw up here. But start with more of a flat edge, and then come and round it out, and come back down on that flat edge, and that's going to give you a more circular pearl, as opposed to trying to make it circle. So start with more of that flat edge, round it up, and then come back down. So what I'll do is I'll start with more of the flat edge, and round it up. This one's on a curve, so this is an oval that I put in there. But you can see you can add whatever you want into this, and I've got to move that out of the way. And come in.
There you go.
Try to stay within the lines. Just like that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Just to add a little something to it.
Yeah, I think you did really good with trying to do one hand over the camera.
I did okay. But that just shows you, we've looked at every single template just now. And all in sorts of different ways. The ruler marks, just to look at how you can do all those straight line ruler work. You've got that pumpkin seed effect to do a chain, along with also using your foot for doing some applique work. You've got that 3x6 star. Of course, you could put a star in, but we used it to do continuous curve around the outside of the block. You're coming in with that 4-inch heart and oval stencil, which we used to do some cool applique, but you could also put this in corners of blocks or some larger blocks. And then last but not least, 6x6 and 4x4 on the star there, or on the star, excuse me, on the square ruler to get a good centering mark of things over your quilt top.
All right, let's take it back to the top.
Okay, so back over to the front. We are walking in. Oh my gosh, where'd you go?
I didn't want it to like shake to death. Why?
Oh. I was ready for some good camaraderie, some good comeback, some good back and forth, and it's still just me. She's still over there. I'm just gonna drink my hot chocolate. So take your time.
I am. Well, I decided I needed to kind of get the comments to see if there was any comments.
It's probably a good idea.
No, you did a good job. I mean, what you guys don't get to see is that he literally has
it's a hot mess, but it works. But it's to show you.
We can show you, because if not, it'd be really hard.
Yeah, it'd be hard
for
to
you guys
see it all.
see.
But it's just show you how those amazing things work. Yeah.
We still haven't found the perfect thing yet. So we hope that you got the great gist of what he was trying to teach you. And these are just really beginning techniques that you can use with the starter kit. A lot of people come in to the shop, they call us and go, I just got my machine. I've heard about templates. Like, what should I start with?
Yeah.
So this kit was put together a long time ago, but we were unable to get some of the parts for a while, but now we have everything back again. It's back online again. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a really good kit for people that are just getting started using templates.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's so many things you can do. And it's on our website, longarmsupplies.net, and we will have the link in the description. So let's see if there's any other questions.
I think you've answered everything.
Okay.
I think everything was good. Oh, this is a good one. Do these templates also work with domestic machines for free motion quilting? They will, as long as you have a proper ruler foot when you're using your domestic machine.
Correct.
They have ruler feet for domestic sewing machines. Everyone's a little bit different. But you want to make sure you do have one of those in order for it to work. But you won't have a problem doing it.
Exactly. And just a few more. We had a few more questions about the panel. It's just an old practice panel. We don't have it for sale. We are coming up with something similar, something like it that will be down the road to help people practice. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Definitely.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight and taking a look at the template starter kit. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below so we can get those answered for you. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow morning for Good Morning LEQ. Bye.
Bye.